Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to HAFEZ Reflects. Another Sunday, and here I am at my living hell, which I call Speaker's Corner. I'm your host, HAFEZ, and well done. Now, there will be some changes you may have noticed to my appearance. Let's call the elephant in the room what it is. Yes, I have another dead marsupial stuck to my head. So you guys are going to have a field day with that in the chat. So I'm sure this will be a very, very exciting period for you. But anyway, at the moment, we have the big nose of London being interviewed by Street Mike. So we're going to go straight to that. And then we'll come back and discuss my dead marsupial at another time.
Why Hamas?
Let us go.
I'll tell you why Hamas, and also I'll tell why Israel. I'll tell you why Hamas first. What Hamas did on the 7th of October, in my opinion, it's a heinous crime. However, I do understand why they did what they did based upon...
You're justifying now. You're justifying it.
Let me finish. However, I do understand why they did it. But I do condemn what they did. I also condemn what Israel has been doing. I believe, that Netanyahu and the leaders of Hamas should all appear before the criminal court.
Okay. Why wouldn't you justify the Israelis' attack?
I just now said what they've done is wrong.
No, justify...
I told you.
You justified Hamas.
Yeah. I can understand what they've done. I can understand why Israel reacted in the way they did, because every nation has the right to defend himself. But Israel has stepped over a line in regards to the number of people who have been killed.
But do you know why?
Why? You tell me.
What do they hold Hamas against them?
You tell me.
Hostages, isn't it? Hostages. No.
But the issue is nothing to do with hostages, in my opinion.
Sorry?
The issue, why Israel reacted in the way they did, is nothing to do with hostages.
What is it to do with?
You tell me.
I don't know.
It's to do, with what Hamas did on the 7th of October.
Right.
They took hostages with a view of negotiating something in the future.
Correct.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but that's what they did. Israel has reacted in its own defense. They're going after Hamas. They want to wipe them off the face of this earth.
Release the hostage. To rescue. Yes,
that's bullshit. That's bullshit.
So they shouldn't try to rescue the hostages?
Let me undo. Say the question again.
So they're not. Israel shouldn't try to rescue their hostages?
Yes, they should try to rescue their own hostages. But I believe, what they're doing, how they're doing it, it's to rescue the hostages. I don't believe that is the real reason they're doing what they're doing. But it's just a justification. We're doing it for the hostages. I don't believe that's the truth.
I mean, if that is the case, then why wouldn't Israel, the Hamas people call Israel's bluff, release the hostages, and then if Israel continues to kill them, then that would be then clear justification for Israel to be condemned.
But it's not for me to argue who should do what. It's down to the leaders of Hamas, the leaders of Israel, the negotiators throughout the world, to negotiate some form of peace settlement. What that is going to be, I don't know, but it's down to others to do. But can I be quite honest? Knowing that so many rascal people have been killed and slaughtered on both sides, it's wrong. I cannot believe, that Hamas, and I didn't believe it initially, but it's a fact, that they were embedded under hospitals. That is fucking wrong. Because knowing that Israel is going to justify bombing a hospital, knowing that they're underneath there, that's all wrong. There needs to be an immediate settlement. If not, millions of people are going to get killed.
Well, the millions of people are mostly going to be Palestinians,
Yeah, that's right.
naturally. But I mean, not millions, because Israel has managed to conduct this sort of, if you like, urban warfare with the least amount of people killed than any other conflict around. If you look at Iraq, if you look at Syria, look at Lebanon, Libya, sorry, those hundreds of thousands, whilst Israel has managed to keep this down to like, what, 30,000?
Only 30,000.
No, it's not only. That's still wrong. But what I'm saying is to keep it to 30,000 is actually a massive task in itself.
But I just imagine your family was one of those 30,000.
Of course, but then...
Then it's wrong.
But then...
We want to see
same as Iraq.
war ended. We want to see a peace negotiation.
Sure.
But I don't believe it's going to happen for a long time.
Well, the thing is that, again, I think at this point the ball should be in the Hamas courts. Release the hostages, then surrender their military wing, and Israel, if they continue to kill Palestinians, then the world will see Israel is a criminal.
So that's what you would want for...
What I want is for Israel, for people who say Israel is a mass murderer, I want people to...
mass murderers.
Yeah, but what I mean is, if those on the Palestinian side who say Israel is a mass murderer and are committing genocide, to call their bluff. If Hamas releases the hostages, surrenders, and Israel continues to kill them, then it's plain for the world to see. Then no one can deny that Israel is committing a genocide. But right now, Israel can deny it because Hamas has hostages and they're still firing rockets at Israel.
But why don't Israel say, we will stop if you... Yeah, listen, let me finish. We will stop all this killing. We will stop the war. We will stop and we will give you X amount of time to release the hostages. If you don't, it will recommence. That's another option. Why don't Israel do it that way?
Because Israel is in the position of power. They don't have to bargain. It's the person who is actually being crushed. And you said, if your parents were being killed, if your children were being killed, and you knew that you can't physically stop the hostility, then what would be the best option for the Palestinians? The best option for the Palestinians is to surrender Hamas and release the hostages, because Israel doesn't have to do anything. Israel can continue killing them indiscriminately.
Hence the reason
there
needs to be international
pressure.
There needs to be international pressure. International forces have to come together to sit down with both sides and seek a solution. But it ain't gonna rascal happen. And it's not gonna happen for a long time, because there's too much at stake. And for me, what I'm seeing is quite sad. It's quite sad. What Hamas did was fucking wrong. But I can understand what they did because of what's been happening for so long. I can understand why Israel reacted the way it did. And now that war has started, they can't back away.
Yeah, but they can't win. They can't back. I mean, you can say they can't back away, but they can't win. And then they just continue. It's the thing is the larger death toll is going to be on the Palestinian side.
Let's agree on that.
It's not going to be on the Israeli side. So since the Palestinians are the ones who are going to die more, they should be the ones who would be more eager to try to stop the hostilities, to stop bombing Israel, to release the hostages, to capitulate to Israel, because Israel doesn't need to bargain.
But I agree with you, and the Palestinians are going to be the losers, and I believe the Palestinians want this to stop, but it's not down to the Palestinians, it's bloody Hamas who's doing all this crap.
Yeah, but the Palestinians, there's 2 million people in Gaza. Let's say 30,000 have been killed. There's still over 3 million, over 1.5 million Palestinians that could uprise and take down Hamas. Hamas are at best estimated to be, I don't know, maybe 10,000 fighters. Now, I think there were like 20 or 20,000 before, but they've killed like about 10,000 of them already. So 1.5 million Palestinians are you telling me that they're not able to rise up and take down Hamas when Gaddafi lost Libya, when what's his name, Bashar al-Assad almost lost Syria? If it wasn't for the help of the Russians and the Iranians, he would have. So people cannot rise up and take down their dictators.
Do you know what's quite sad in regards to what I'm seeing here? I would like to see a peace settlement. It ain't gonna happen, and what is gonna happen is more and more people are gonna die.
Yeah.
Day after day, week after week, and our earth, everything that's happening around this world is fucking sad. Let's live in peace. It's like, I love you. I love Big Nose. I love our man down there, Omar, even though he's a dirty, rotten, stinking scoundrel. But just like I put a 2-month ban on him, which is expired today, so I'm willing to compromise. But, you know, these people in this war, at this moment in time, neither side is going to give up.
I'm not. You see, for me, it's not about neither side's going to give up. It's the fact that one side is overwhelmingly outgunned. If you are overwhelmingly the loser, the person who's going to get the most amount of people killed, then in all honesty, you see, if the bully, I agree with you. I agree with you that you should push back against the bully, but only with a bigger force. If the bully has other people that are
being smart,
well, or being smart, exactly. But the Palestinians are neither smart or strong. They neither have the power or they're acting in a smart way.
Yeah.
So their best chance, you see, for me, the ultimate goal for a Palestinian is to have their children grow up, is to have their children be educated, for them to have a house, for them to live. I can't stand watching another video of a 3-year-old being pulled out of a rubble, dead. I don't know about you, but I don't want to see another Palestinian child being dragged out of a building.
Can you imagine what is going to be happening in future generations as a direct result of the conflict now?
Exactly,
It's quite sad.
exactly. So it's going to extend for another 30 years, for another 50 years. So if the Palestinians want to have a home, education for their kids, and a decent standard of living, they have to come to the conclusion they have to live with the Jews. They can't live over the Jews. They can't dominate the Jews. They cannot get rid of the Jews. They have to live with them. Otherwise, there'll be another 75 years of blood, death, and murder. So they have to realize that that's the only way to go.
I hear you, but let's change the subject now and concentrate specifically on the 27th of July without saying what's happening on that day. Are you looking forward to the 27th of July?
Yes, certainly I will be there, as I'm sure Street Mike will be there, probably on stage.
So what is going to... Let me just put this microphone, but I will come back to you. Yeah. For the people watching, let's tell them specifically what will be happening on the 27th of July.
On the 27th of July, I believe at Trafalgar Square, there will be a large gathering of English patriots, I would say British patriots, led by Tommy Robinson and his team, and yeah, HAFEZ Reflects and Street Mike will be there to cover it in full color, live and direct.
Live and direct. But just to let you know, I have already advised Tommy Robinson's team not to hold the event at Trafalgar Square for technical reasons, and I'll tell you why. Have you ever tried to live stream at Trafalgar Square when there's lots of people there?
Yes, and also
What's the problem?
yeah, there's a signal problem, terrible signal problem. The microphones go out because there's a lot of people with microphones, wireless microphones. They get signal cross. The live streaming just is terrible. It's terrible.
I've advised them, because I have mapped the entire area of London because of stuff I do Monday to Friday specifically to do with funerals. Yeah. If Tommy Robinson holds this big event like it's been planned on the that's going in front, on the 31st, sorry, on the 30th, sorry, I'm forgetting the bloody date
27,
now.
the
On
27th
of July, live streamers are going to have a problem at Trafalgar Square. The reason why, Trafalgar Square is surrounded by tall buildings. As a direct result of being surrounded by tall buildings, that affects the upload speed. So when you want to live stream, it's very difficult to do so. And because there's going to be so many people in a small area, you will not be able to live stream. And I've told them that. Because, I got lines of communications. I won't say how.
I think I'm on the same line of communication as you are, actually. I've seen some of your stuff.
Say that again?
What did they reply to your request?
I won't tell you, there's none of your business.
Yeah.
Certain things are private.
Yeah, the thing is, I agree with you, but the problem is that I think it's also to do with like the primary locations in London, and to have that many people, I think they're expecting far more people this time, and they're going to need bigger space area than Parliament Square.
I understand. For example, yesterday you had Troop in the Colour. It's also the same in the Mall with Troop in the Colour. Because if you look at the Mall, it's a wide open space, a wide open park, and there's not many mobile phone masts. So when there's thousands of people, your phone goes.
Yeah.
And when I live stream, I use 6 networks, not one. I have to use 6. So if your phone is knackered, I still got others.
Yeah.
But they're all knackered.
Yeah.
And that's the bloody problem. But it is going to be an amazing day in July.
Exactly. What I'm going to say is that for those who are worried about watching it live on YouTube through Street Mike or myself, come down to Trafalgar Square in person, represent the British, represent the Patriots, and be part of the movement. Don't be an armchair revolutionary. The revolution may not be televised and may not be live streamed, but you have to come down yourself.
What was it like for you to be called onto the stage, with Tommy Robinson, and to do your thing on June the 1st?
Well, for me, it was a shock because I'm a tiny YouTuber. I'm like literally the tiniest. I was probably one of the smallest YouTubers there.
But it doesn't matter.
I know. Every voice counts. But it was shock. It was an honor. It was a great thing that I think he did for the small guy. And he really propped up the smaller guys. It wasn't just about the guys who've got hundreds of thousands of subs. It was great to be part of the whole thing.
But do you understand Tommy Robinson's strategy? Because I used to believe Tommy Robinson was a right-wing racist. I'm not scared to say that. I've told him that to his face. I changed my mind after seeing what he did at the Oxford Union. Yeah. And I've subsequently embraced a lot of the things he's doing because I can hear what he's saying, what he's doing, and what he's trying to achieve. But one thing I have noticed with Tommy is that he's matured. And when I say he's matured, if you look at the days of the EDL when he started that up, he's changed and he's learned. And now he's got bigger following than the Nationals, and citizen journalist is the way forward. And he's bringing together citizen journalists to be able to put his message out, and that message is undermining the original narrative that he's a right-wing racist, which I don't believe he is.
I agree that he's matured. I agree on that side. I had my own reservations and criticisms of Tommy over the years. I think he's decided or he's recognized that this should be a movement beyond himself, because this became a bit of a cult of personality for a while. And there was a lot of people just following Tommy for Tommy's sake, not because there was a wider goal. And I'm hoping, I mean, you remember the times back in like 2018 or whatever, when it was the free speech movement. He was absolutely drunk out of his head. He came, intoxicated. A lot of the fans came intoxicated. They've started to sort of put a lid on that. They've told people, don't come as just like a drunken lout and behave loutish. Yeah, this matters. How you present yourself matters. And so they're cleaning up, if you like, house a little bit. They themselves are behaving more professionally, and I hope that yes, they will bring the traditional British patriots together. They're moving towards Christendom, which I think that is the that is a core value and a core element of Britishness, if you like, or British values. Certainly, the king of this country should be the defender of the faith, not the faiths. It is only one faith in this country, and there has always been only one faith in this country, and that is Christianity. That should not be the faiths. This multiculturalist nonsense is exactly that. I don't agree with it, and I think that Britain should get back to its roots. And once it does, it will essentially recognize the problems in his society and start to fix them. I honestly, I'm not a Christian, I'm an atheist, by the way. I'm saying this as an atheist. So as an atheist, I recognize the place for Christendom in this country, and how if you let go of that, so many other things, so many other dominoes fall. That's why I'm glad that they're moving that way.
I was actually proud to stand on a platform with Tommy Robinson 2.5, 3 weeks ago, and I said, I'm proud to be here as an Englishman. I didn't say as a black Englishman, as an Englishman, because that's what I see myself. I wasn't born here, I was born in Barbados, but you know, this is my home, this is where I built my home, this is where I worked, recently retired after 40 years, but I know they say black don't crack. This is where my family are. So I'm an Englishman, and I'm proud to say that. You know, and I had no problem with standing in front of these people saying that. Lots of people have ridiculed me for doing it. But you think I give a shit? No, I don't. I can tell them to fuck off because I don't care. Yeah, but you know, King Charles, I love my king. But this is a great country, and you know, I'm of the belief Tommy has matured. I'm shocked at what I'm seeing, and you and I have access to information. We know what's going on behind the scenes. We're not going to reveal anymore. But the 27th of July, yes or no, is going to be an amazing day.
Yes, absolutely. I hope that, as I say, more and more people show up. I want really everyone in this country, especially the British patriots, to be racinated, to actually begin to recognize that there are certain problems, certain movements in this country that are antithetical to British society. I occasionally throw in those things. I swallowed a dictionary this morning and I farted out a thesaurus. I pooped out a thesaurus, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I want them to be vaccinated. I want them to feel that they are, if they don't make changes now to turn the ship around, that their country is going in a bad direction. I myself am a foreigner. I am so proud and glad that Britain has given me the opportunities. No, I'm not a native, but I am a British. If you like, they say I was born in Iran, but made in Britain. So that's what happened to me. So I find kinship with the British people, and I want this country to remain in its core a British Christian nation, and I don't want anyone to push it in another direction.
Before I close, let's talk about Iran and what is happening in your, that's a very sore subject. I've said to you before, my best friend Al, he's Iranian, and I'm meeting him for lunch later on this week. One thing he would love to do is to take his family back to Iran to visit his own family. But if he did go back, he would be arrested and slung in prison because he left and he didn't do national service. So what do you think about what's going on in your country?
Well, I mean, as all, if you like, what we call ourselves Persians, because we want to distinguish ourselves from Iranians of current sort of regime. That's why, even though, I mean, Iranians haven't been Persians for like 1,000 years, but technically, yes, we would like to separate ourselves from the current regime. We don't want the current regime for the most part. There are literally children being murdered by the Iranian regime. The IRCG is murdering children. If you go down to the Foreign Office right now, there's a gentleman who's been protesting there for almost 2 years. He's got pictures, billboards of all the pictures of the children that have been killed. We're talking 10-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 14-year-olds. So if the pro-Palestinians cared about children, they would also be protesting against the Iranian regime killing children. But of course, there's crickets when it comes to that. You don't hear anyone marching for them, except some Iranians from time to time.
My final question, is it a conspiracy theory in regards to what happened to the president the other day?
Helicopter. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, the way I see it is, there are a lot of laser-guided rain and snow which comes down in that particular part of Iran. There are laser-guided rain and snow that comes down in that particular type of Iran. It's a hazardous portion as they're coming from Uzbekistan into, I think it was Uzbekistan that he was flying from. You must be careful of the laser-guided raindrops.
Do you know something? I've heard some crap in my time. I have never in my life heard about laser-guided rain and laser-guided snow.
Look, unfortunately these days, you know, the climate change, we have to look out for the climate effects. It's human effects upon the climate which causes certain drops of rain to be specifically guided towards helicopter rotors and damage them quite badly.
You know, the Roman has just arrived, so I'm now going to go and engage with the Roman.
Thank you so much, Mr. Street Mike. Street Mike, may I ask, do you feel in conflict voting for Sadiq Khan and also supporting the Tommy Robinson?
No, because and you know, I might even vote for Tory in the next general election.
But weren't you at the Diane Abbott protest supporting Diane Abbott?
Hold on. Let me get in front of the camera. Quite often, I will attend events.
Oh yes.
Yeah, as you know.
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter. I was the main filmmaker for them.
That's
guys.
Right.
Yeah. I was at Diane Abbott, Tommy Robinson. Yeah. I go as an impartial journalist.
Oh.
I try to be impartial. I do not give my opinions generally. So therefore, I can go to all of these things. Yeah. And people try and work me out.
Some would say hypocrisy or double standards.
No, I don't give an opinion. I might not believe in what someone is doing, and I may believe it's morally. For example, Omar. What Omar was doing, yeah, with Shalali in the cucumber, hence the reason I banned him for 2 months. Today it was unbanned, and the first thing he did was pull the cucumber out again. But I'll still engage with him because I believe in freedom of speech. With Tommy Robinson, with everyone, I believe it's healthy and it's important. And if I can engage with people I disagree with, I can maybe educate myself to become a better person. So I'm happy. And I've said to people this, and there's the Roman, sir, I want to engage with you in a minute. And I've said to people, I would engage, I would invite a convicted murderer or paedophile, a convicted paedophile onto my channel, because I believe it's important to engage with these people so we can learn and to educate ourselves and to learn how we can prevent it from happening. So we must engage with them.
Interesting. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. There you go.
Give me my, oh, I've got it.
I got it. You took it. Okay.
So did that answer your mic?
That was good. That was good. I was intrigued. Okay, ladies and gentlemen,
Street, S-T-R-E.
that is Street Mike
Live stream.
UK. Big up. No, yeah. Okay, that was Street Mike. Oh, HAFEZ Reflex. I use it in the sense of the HAFEZ as the poet from Persia.
Can you write down
H-A-F. Oh, sorry. Okay, hold on. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
HAFEZ. There it is. Sorry, is it gone in? Yep, HAFEZ. Sorry, hold on. That's it.
Thank you, sir.
No problem, sir.
I wanted to ask you, somebody asked me to make a video, but they wanted more professional. Do you know anyone that I can ask to make this video?
As in, like, you want what is it, like an advertising?
No,
or?
basically, I'm training a group of people to do preaching in a scenario which is not easy, like opposition.
Oh, like you're doing a training video to how to give polemics or debates.
In a scenario like this, because many Christians they don't.
Well, I mean, if you want the most professional, obviously Street Mike. He actually works full time. He actually does videos. He gets hired for funerals and all sorts of things. So yeah, I mean, he's the best.
That would be very short.
He's got the best equipment and everything.
Thank you.
But the rest of us, we just use phones.
Yeah, I'm using my phone, but my pastor doesn't like it. The way they come out. I don't know why. Because it's moving.
Yeah. It's best. He's got the best. No worries. Nice to meet you. Hello, sir.
I didn't know about the charger. You see, I had to take out.
Well done. Yeah, no. What you need is a double one. You can get the double ones from Amazon, where it allows you to put the microphone and.
But can they still hear?
Power. Yeah. It works. It works both.
Okay.
Both ways.
I can't make these people moderator. How do I do?
No. I don't think you can do it through your phone. You can only do it on the web portal, on the website, through the website. I've never managed to do it through this. What do you call it? Through Prism. If you have a,
You could have done it on YouTube.
you could do it on the YouTube. Oh yeah.
Actual YouTube. not
Yeah.
YouTube.
What you can do is you can actually add them as moderator when you get home. See the names,
Oh,
put the name in.
But if
You
they
got
don't
to
come
go into your studio.
What happens if they don't come on that day?
No. You can just take their name, even from
I
this
know,
stream.
if today, for example, if he doesn't come on, Oddity, for example,
Yeah.
and I've added, but today he's not available, what happens then?
Oh, you've already added them.
I'm saying.
Oh, if you do and it doesn't work, well then you know.
If he doesn't come on YouTube
Oh, if
that
it-
day, today, for
Oh no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He will be a moderator the next time he comes on.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, if you add him through your studio, you can add him through your studio, and then next time they come on, there'll be a admin. Anyway, let's go and see what the hell is going on with this madness over here. The madness of crowds. All right, I'll catch you in a bit, my good sir. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are now moving towards the ladder. Hey, local.
My brother is
Let's see.
saying, another one of our brothers in Canada.
We have something going on here. It seems very quiet. I've heard God Logic. I've heard God Logic will be here today. I don't know where, I don't know how, but he may be here later on, or he may be here now. I don't see God Logic anywhere. We have some Sikh people now debating basics of Sikh.
Why I say that is, this guy is Dawson Jones, Scottish man, clean shaven, like my brother is. Like I was 10 years ago.
Sorry, guys. There's a gentleman with the Israeli flag and the British flag. Hello, sir. Sir, can I ask you, how are you, sir? God bless you, sir. I was wondering today, since you've come with, because last week you were here with just the English flag, and you've come with the Israeli flag. How has the response of the general people have been since you've just come with the Israeli flag as well?
Yeah, well, I've been here about a couple of hours now, and it's been all right. I haven't had any issues, but I've explained to them what the meaning of both flags are. And when they get the meaning of it, then they go,
What you've done, you've put meaning to it.
well, I've explained the
I
meaning.
can get a flag and put meaning on it.
Yeah. So
Well,
it's
it's true.
So the flag, the top flag, we all know the top flag. We had that last week.
George Cross.
But it represents Jesus Christ. But the second one also represents Jesus Christ. Because it's a different flag from the one that people...
You've already lied already.
Come on,
The
get
top
out of
flag
here.
represents England.
Well, it represents
Jesus.
St. George.
St. George was not
Yeah.
Christian.
Oh, yes, he was.
He's from Turkey.
Yes, but he was a believer.
He was Islamic.
He died for the... He died, man.
Don't you know your history?
Do you know what Turkey was before it became an Islamic country? Constantinople.
Yeah.
Constantinople was
Byzantine.
where they actually canonized
Yeah.
the Bible.
Lots of
It
Islam.
was the most Christian place on earth.
No.
Of course, it's where they canonized the Bible. The Council of Nicaea was where they put the Bible
Turkey.
together. Yes, in Turkey, in modern
Istanbul.
Turkey
Yeah,
now.
you're right. Yeah. There was lots of
So it was heart of Christianity. Islam is the colonizer of Constantinople.
And St. George was in Turkey.
Yes, and St. George was a Christian. There you go. It's what they call the Eastern Roman Empire. So anyway, sir, sorry, we were back. So yeah, your Israeli flags. How does that symbolize Christianity?
Well, very important we understand what it says on the flag, first of all. If you look at the top there, obviously it's the wrong side round,
Yeah.
but backwards it spells Jerusalem. So this particular flag represents a lion And on that lion represents what the Bible calls a lion of the tribe of Judah. Now,
That's why you don't have the Star of David.
that's right. I do not have the Star of David, but a lot of people really think, because they're ignorant, that this represents the Israel. But it's more than Israel. It represents Christ in his second coming as the Lion of the tribe of Judah. That's simply
So
it.
this is really the flag of the second coming. if you
That's
like,
correct.
Rather than the current state of Israel.
That's correct. That's correct. So when they see, that's why I put down here King of Kings and Lord of Lords, because it represents the Lion that's coming. And when he comes, he will set everybody and everything right. His kingdom will be an everlasting kingdom, which will never be destroyed.
But do you find a lot of people have like emotional reaction to
Absolutely.
the colors?
I got my flag stick broken 2 weeks ago
Yes.
because somebody didn't like my flag. They came up to me.
Was that the English? The one where you had the English flag?
No, this was this flag I had
that
2
one.
weeks ago.
Oh, I see.
And they came and they were upset with me because they were trying to push it away by putting a Palestinian flag in my face. And what I did, I said, come on guys, you can't be putting it in my face. I was standing away from them. So what happens, I held the flag, and while I'm holding it, this guy took my flagpole and busted it in two. So I saw the kid last week and I said to him, you owe me 20 quid. Right? And he said to me, because I was a bit boisterous with him last week, you know, I showed a little muscular Christianity. And they said, turn the other cheek. I said, I turned it the last time you saw me.
Now you're
I ain't got more cheeks to turn. So this time, if they mess about, it's going to be problems.
I see.
So we want to preach the gospel, but we don't want people abusing us and destroying our stuff.
Of course.
This is a free place, Speaker's Corner, and we want to keep that heritage alive. So we as Christians, the heritage of Speaker's Corner alive. Yeah. So that's why we can have these nutters come here, and we don't run them out of town.
As if you could.
No, we wouldn't do it. We would not do it. So that's our preach. That's
Thank you. Thank you so much.
sir.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
Okay, so that was the reason. That's the gentleman now. He has what appears to be an Israeli flag, but it's not actually of the current state of Israel. It is a flag. It is a flag of the Christ's second coming. That is interesting. Okay, guys, I don't even know what's going on in the chat. Streets UK, big up, big up. Thrill Seeker, Salvador, Fort Telly. Oh my God, there's some names that I don't even know here. Welcome one and all. Welcome to all the new viewers, because there's a bunch of viewers here that I don't even recognize. I hope the sound is good. I'm gonna do a quick sound check. Oh, hello. Okay, let's go and check. Let me. Guys and girls, I'm just doing a quick sound check. So, thank you for joining it. HAFEZ Reflects. Let me see. Yes, sound is good. Yeah, looks good. Quality is good.
Our human right and our privilege and our duty to stand up against the oppressors. So as a man, as a little guy, I'm not very big. I don't want to fight anybody. I don't want any trouble with anybody. I want to go to work, I want to live my life, I want to raise my children, and I want to go home and have a happy life. If I see my community is being burned around, burned down beside me, it's my job to go and fight. When we see what's happening in Gaza, that kills us. We know.
Okay, sound is good, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize if things are a little bit boring right now. We're just going to try to get in on the next. I see. Let's go and check out our friends.
care about any of them. Go send the Sikhs in, we'll kill the bad guys, and we'll feed everybody else. Just beware of that. The government in India is right now. Where you can't give, if I'm a person, I want to give donations to a corporation, right? Or to the government. Like it's all open. It's like they buy it, they sell it, like votes for law, basically. The government made this bond scheme, right? The government
You
said,
can't put this on the loudest speaker.
How do you mean?
You know, you said they can hear, but how can they hear this?
What? Who can hear? The audience?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they hear it through the microphone of the phone.
Oh, so
Since you took out the microphone and you've just got the thingy going, you've got the battery pack. Now it's just switched over to the microphone built into the phone. So they should be able to hear it through
it's not
that.
going off this battery. Why?
It's not. I don't know what. You gotta
Late,
check.
isn't it? I should have put it
Let's
on.
go over there so I can put this on for the people, and then I will check your sound. Hold on, guys and girls. We're moving.
Your enemy of George W. Bush, the Christian warmonger.
Sorry.
We have them in our empire. They're corrupting our empire. They believe they'll be saved. But I was there in Rome when we threw the Christians to the lions. And they shouted for Jesus and they all died.
Rome is a sweet room now.
We have no problems with Mohammed.
Don't bring that story again.
He came much later. You know that much.
Just talk about the high
You know that much.
and the success. Forget about Muhammad.
Who are we?
Here
Created
comes.
hate.
Who are we? We have no problems with Muhammad. Who are we?
Who we?
I'm a born-again Roman. My name is Nicholas Maximus Germanicus, commander of the legions of the North. Father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife,
noblest
and I will have vengeance on every Jew, Christian and Muslim
Forget about Muhammad and your ideas. Come on.
who betrays the empire in the name of Donald J. Trump.
Stiffen the sinews, some of them with blood, and disguise fair reason with well-favoured rage.
Right, big point, then.
Where did you steal that fruit from, and when can I arrest you?
I don't steal, I have money.
Liar! Liar! You're a terrorist! Yes.
No bad.
My mother used to fancy one of the actors in Gladiator when I was a 14-year-old boy in Leicester. One of our greatest actors, Oliver Reed. He liked to drink and the women.
What? That's not right.
This is Gladiator, you're in the film. And of course, what a performance from the great Aussie actor, Australian, Russell Crowe. What a gifted man, Russell. Australia's finest. Even if they beat us at cricket and rugby, I don't care.
It was a New Zealand.
Canadian. I don't know.
Same part of our empire. Same part of our empire.
How many empires you have?
Yeah.
What did the Romans ever do for us?
Well, we never conquered Ireland. That was a big mistake.
Hibernia.
Big mistake. Yeah, Hibernia.
Caledonia, Scotland.
Well, we have no interest in ruling little green men.
Guinness, you fucker.
We fight on wine. Red wine.
He's the enemy, boss. He's the
From
enemy.
Italy and Spain and Portugal.
Guinness.
Yes.
Guinness, man.
Guinness. Only losers drink Guinness.
Scots are the enemies of the British.
We crush the Scots.
What shite he talks? Keith, ich mach cock and poke my hole. What are you talking about? English.
He's telling you to fuck off in Arabic.
Yeah, same thing, isn't it?
Is there such a thing as Irish wine?
Give it a hearty.
My name is Nicholas Maximus Germanicus, commander of the legions from Leicester. Father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have vengeance on every Jew, Christian and Muslim, and burn their holy books before I drink a can of Coca-Cola. Yes.
Master of the Roman carry.
Yes. We're settled by the Romans. Do you know there's a circle dedicated to our empire?
Do you protect also like the porcine?
We fight and drink wine like real men.
It's called the Central Line.
Yes.
I charge 175.
Then when we've conquered you, you can be part of our empire. Like Hard Rock Cafe, like this young lad. We've already recruited him for Bahrain.
When I was in Australia, I went to Darwin, you know, and I went to
Great part of Aussie, named after our greatest, Charles
I went
Darwin.
to the Hard Rock.
Yes.
Because they got salt, you see.
Take the sword.
No, this is... He is Scipio Africanus. Yes.
A Roman general named the continent after him, Africanus.
That's right. You're right. Africa was named by us Romans. It was only North Africa back in the day. What is today Libya and Algeria.
My Harvey Street doctor here.
We Romans named the coastal area Africa. So you should be grateful for wine, Marks and Spencer's, Coca-Cola, and George W. Bush.
Don't forget the Greeks that came here with
Oh, a bunch of faggots, the Greeks.
bloody traders.
Load of queers. We conquered them easy. We took their empire and Greece. The Battle of Actium.
I'm not bending over for you.
No, it's not what you said last night. We have them in our empire. As long as they fight and serve George W. Bush, Donald J. Trump.
Trump is not good.
Dare you insult Donald Trump?
Is he your cousin?
Got the money. It's the American dream. How dare you insult Donald Trump? Go back to your taxi.
Listen.
Hail Caesar! Hail Africa! Hail Caesar! Fight with the Romans against all the Muslims. When do we invade Mecca? Caesar!
Alibaba. Alibaba.
When do we take Mecca for George W. Bush, the true Christian warmonger?
You can't take Afghanistan. You talk about Mecca.
We don't bother with that hilltop ragbag. Maybe they're Muslim, let them have the whole of Asia. We're not interested in conquering Asia, just Europe and the Middle East.
Let's say go Mecca.
I'm going to get so much.
Roman soldiers? Roman?
Yes, Your Holiness.
But America is still Roman. It continues with the Roman Empire.
It is.
And this is Roman.
Yes, we're Greek. You're so right. Harold Macmillan said this in the 1950s before I was born. He said that our ancestors to the ancient world are like the Greeks, idealistic, whereas the Americans are the Romans. They are. The American empire is standing strong.
But the Greek was faggots. Listen, this lady has some problems. I don't know why she's arguing with me. I don't know.
Go.
I said that he was here in Christmas.
So why I'm here? So why I'm here?
You're a terrorist and we welcome you.
Listen, if I talk about my country,
Your country is Edgware Road.
My country is 7,000 years old. Your country is a young country.
Your country is Edgware Road. We're building a mosque there next week.
Your country conquered by so many people, man. Stop.
And yet you're here.
Why you care about me? I'm here. Why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you here?
This means nothing to me. It's a song, a quiz. Oh, Vienna, good Scots band. Back in the 80s. One of the better things that came out of Chili Choco
All the
Land.
colors are we're gonna stay here. We're all black, white, Asian, all live together. If you don't like it, go stay at your house, close the door, have some Kit Kat, and watch a movie. Listen, stay at home, close
Look,
the window.
Moses is here. The final prophecy from the Old Testament.
Close the doors.
The final
close the
prophecy of
windows,
Moses.
and don't
Please
come out,
bring us
because
the
there's so many
final
Asians
prophecy
outside.
from the Old Testament.
So many Asians outside, so many black people outside. Don't come out. Stay at home, close the window. Stay at home. Don't like colors, stay at home.
Listen to the prophecy here.
Moses is here. Excuse me. Wait.
Sorry.
Moses is here to bring the last
Moses,
biblical
I can
prophet
see his nose coming out.
from the Old Testament.
Is it noses up? Is it Moses or Pinocchio?
Can I cut your nose right now?
And then need this.
Now, what is the prophecy from the Old
There'll be
Testament?
an election soon,
Yes.
very soon, here in America.
Yes. The heart of our Western
You wait and you
civilization.
see. It will come true. That's my prediction. An election
How's it going, Jamie?
in the UK and in
It's not the
America.
UK. Great Britain.
Great Britain.
Yes. Roman Britain.
Exactly. Exactly.
The election ballot in the UK, they
How's
use
things
a
with you, man?
pencil.
Haven't seen you on judo
Once
for a
you
while.
leave, what makes you sure they don't change it?
You're a very entertaining person.
In the words of Russell
charging his
Crowe,
phone.
unleash hell on all our enemies from America to Italy.
In the UK election,
Moses.
Mr. Roman,
Tell him about the flood.
no, wait.
Only half of Africa was flooded.
I was asking in the election when you go, they ask you to pencil, not a pen, a pencil. So how are we going to be sure if they're going to change it behind you?
Faggot idea of democracy invented by some puffer from ancient Greece. We're not interested in democracy. We're interested in warfare.
Ah, that's it.
Taking the whole of the Middle East with Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia left you now. Saudi Arabia, no more
Go
petrol.
back to Ghana.
No petrodollar anymore.
Go back to Ghana, best West African country.
Formerly known as the Gold Coast.
Yes. We never got to Ghana.
not too bad.
Bad move. All that gold. That's all we got.
I don't know how do I look better.
We're going to get rid of you, the people of this country, and they will replace
No
you.
chance. I'm a born again Roman.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna move on. We're gonna
The
move
race, European race.
to
For the Catholic.
Can't you see the numbers as well?
to the next crazy person. Okay, what's going on here? I believe there's a gentleman. Oh God, Roger, I've heard he is going to be here again. Aha, God Logic. How you doing? Been looking for him. This man is like an executioner of Islamic polemics. he comes with a giant axe and he chops them down like nobody's business. Problem is I can't hear a word he's saying. Gotta get round to. Gotta go around. Thank you, sir. Oh, you're not recording. Oh, sorry. Oh, thank you. Let me come round here.
Thank you.
Hi. Andre? Guys.
Amazing at it. Oh my God. I'm trying to do it. It's just exciting. It's fun to learn.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, God Logic, ready to
Sometimes I'll be in there bawling.
ready to take them out.
Yeah. I'm really rooting for that kid that's been around lately, Bashir. I am praying for that kid. I'm even praying for Anna. I'm sorry. Oh gosh, a lot of people made me mad. Because y'all heard the last one. She made me very mad last time saying, what's wrong with it? Everything. Everything.
I want to, so I have this future creating.
Yeah, so she let herself say something she didn't mean, but in the same time,
But really it's going to go systematically through it step by step.
part of her does advocates for it, but
I don't know if they get that started. I have to.
come on, girl, we're rooting for you. Yes.
So if you go to any of my,
I don't know how these people do anything. It's like it's all kind of good for your pride sake when you're going back and forth with that night when you're thinking about what you have to say. I know it's time to see that would turn me on. But I didn't know.
Yeah, let's get into
That's my game. But I didn't know about
Are you a Muslim?
No. So like I knew
I'm a Nazarene. So
Nazarene.
in other money, you would call me a lunatic. I'm just wondering how you can reconcile your faith with the simple statement by Jesus when he was asked what is the most important commandment. He said, "Hear Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one." Quoting clearly Deuteronomy 6:4. And how you can reconcile teaching other people.
Learning that. He's right behind us.
I didn't go to the class.
All right, guys and girls, we have God Logic being greeted here by a lot of people. I believe there's a debate. Greeted by a lot of people.
Yes. Sorry.
You're a popular dude, it's fine.
Last Sunday. This is
guys, we're gonna move along. What did I do? Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's say it's easy. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
Andre, it's a pleasure.
Oh, nice to be
seeing you online. You've destroyed that other chap.
Hold on, bro.
No, it's the one the one who walked away when you were talking about Mansour.
Yeah,
He's even had to do like a semi-apology video.
Yes. I was dying laughing. Hey, do what you gotta do, man.
Even Chris did a video.
Yeah, I was dying. I saw it this morning. I was rolling.
You're devastating. You're like the executioner here. You're just like
glory to God, man.
Taking heads and taking numbers.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you for that.
But no problem.
Sorry.
You mind if I record you guys while you do the debate?
I guess we got the whole, UK experience with the weather and everything.
Everything else is good. Except for
I'm debating it.
like I don't know.
We're in 10 minutes. Which one? No, brother. I've already previously agreed.
I used to be like in Los Angeles.
He will ask him a question, then we'll leave.
Now I'm in 10 minutes.
You will see.
What's your name, brother? Tay. Avery.
Because you bring new trainer.
I was just walking through. I'm just like,
There's a guy who's
Just chilling. Okay. So I'm about to get into a discussion with him.
Yeah.
But I love to talk to you.
I'm probably going to
Question.
10-15 minutes.
10 minutes.
You guys go, and then we go up.
10 minutes to finish.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Look, we just getting into it. Did you have a particular question or?
No, I mean I was just rolling. But maybe I can ask you this because it's interesting. You're
Can we move this way? Yes. Yeah, sorry.
You cannot call me a homophobia. I'm no homophobia. I'm deputy manager.
So here, I didn't want to get away from the smoke.
So like recently in the park, I haven't been in for a while, so what I've noticed is there's a lot of like, is it ecumenism? Where there's Christian
ecumenism, where Christians are like uniting Protestants, Catholics, Orthodox. I was wondering what your stance is on that.
I love it. Me personally, bro, as a Christian, as a believer, you know, we're allowed to have differences in our opinions, but they shouldn't separate us as the body of Christ. So like the Bible teaches that, you know, we are all one body as Christ is our head. So yes, we're allowed to have disagreements, but it shouldn't separate us and divide us into where we're trying to take each other's heads off and start fighting like that, you know? So unity is literally how Jesus said people will know that we are from him. He said how you treat one another, how you love one another is how people will know that you're from me. So when Christians unite, Orthodox, Catholic, Protestants, and they unite, they yell Christ is King, spread the gospel, that is it. That's right, that's it right there.
But yeah, it's something that kind of bothers me because I feel like that's fine, that's all great, but like attacking Islam, I don't see that as compatible with uniting, especially given the position of the Pope. So like, I believe it was the Pope before this one, John Paul II. So the Pope before Pope Francis, he commissioned Vatican II, I believe. Council.
He commissioned what?
Vatican II? Vatican II, the council.
Oh, okay.
Vatican II, you don't know Vatican II?
I'm not a Catholic.
Okay, fair enough. But what he stated in Vatican II, and what was unanimous in the council, was that Muslims and Christians are worshipping the same God in one way, shape, or form.
said that?
Yeah. So how can you unite with Catholics if their Pope is claiming to worship the same God as Muslims?
Well, I think there's nuance to this, bro.
How can you attack Muslims?
Well, I don't. I attack Islam. You know, like you, for example, Tay. I just met you today.
No, I don't mean attack as in like. I mean like as in
criticize.
Yeah.
So if the Pope says something, right, that Muslims and Christians are worshiping the same God in some sense. If he said that, okay, I don't believe you're a liar. I'll just check it myself.
Can I clarify quickly what
clarify what he said?
Because what you're quoting from is the document in Vatican II from Lumen Gentium, right? So in Lumen Gentium, what is meant there isn't that they have the same description of God, but that they are trying to describe the same God, but they have different descriptions. So for example, Muslims and Christians say that their God is the God of Abraham, right? So say for example you have a father who has two children, right? And one child slanders the father and another child describes him in the way in which he actually is. Now just because one child describes the father differently than the other doesn't mean they're describing a different father. So that would be the Catholic perspective on it. So it's a bit more nuanced than just saying, oh, they say we believe in the same God.
Is that the same God is in
Your
the same
back,
entity?
check your back. The light is on.
Same entity.
Same entity, right?
So you can't.
It sounds like that's what he was.
In some sense, acknowledge this entity. What's logic? He's one.
Oh no! They can clarify. We're having a good conversation.
I will jump as well.
You can do whatever you want, bro.
No, it's
as long as you're respectful.
Sorry, brother.
He says it's fine.
As long as they all keep it.
Yeah, we're cool.
We're cool. Sorry. Mentioning.
So yeah, that was just like the Catholic perspective of Lumen Gentium. I'm not a Catholic myself, but just as someone who's looked into the tradition, it's slightly more nuanced than just saying that they believe it, that Muslims and Christians worship the same God.
But there's been multiple statements by the popes. So like there was one where he went to Egypt or Morocco, I believe, and was talking to young Moroccan or Egyptian Muslims. And he was also talking about we worship the same God. So it's not just one statement I'm taking out of context. I'm taking all of these statements by the recent popes, putting them together.
I'm saying that it's slightly more nuanced than just simply saying the Pope says they worship the same God and leaving it at that.
No, I'm not. I'm saying the same God is in the same entity. We have different understandings, of course. We have different concepts of what that God is. But the Pope is preaching that we believe in the same God as in the same being.
The same entity, the same one.
So when Christians...
But we don't.
The Catholic is going to defend this. So for example, in the book of Acts, right, when Paul is it on Mars Hill?
Talking to
the pagans, the area pagans, right?
And they have the statue.
Yeah, and they have this statue, right? And Paul says to them, you worship what you do not know, right? And he's saying what you actually seek to worship is the true God. And that's going to be like a Catholic defense of this understanding. That's how they would specifically understand.
But how do you feel about Protestants that attack Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So they start saying he's like a moon god, astaghfirullah, and
Okay,
stuff like that. What's your
So
position on that?
I think that what they're trying to attack is the description of Allah
No,
rather than just like God in itself as a concept, right?
Yeah, so like, because you would say that Allah is just like really is just the one true God, right? And regardless of what we believe, right? And so now what he's leaning to is that Islam has a description of the one true God that is opposite of what we would say is the truth of the one true God. So the descriptions and the attributes and the actions of Allah in Islam do not match the God of Abraham, is what we would say. And so this is why if you come to me, I would say, yeah, we don't have the same God, because we obviously believe in two different entities.
But you're saying you do have the same. We do have the same God.
No, he's saying
the Catholic position is that what we are attempting, the concept at which we're attempting to reach is the same God. It's just the description.
It becomes debate with him.
That's fine. What's wrong?
Sure.
I just wanted to like make a clarifying point.
But you're seeing his position as being problematic, right?
Not necessarily, because I understand what he's saying. I understand that the position that he's saying that the Catholics would defend is that we have, we have this idea of this one entity, creator of a heaven and earth. We all have, we share that commonality. Okay, so he's saying we have the same idea of this entity, but how we identify this entity is completely different.
But if the Pope somewhere has said we believe in the same one true God, is that problematic? I don't want to miss. I pretty if he did say that, would that be an issue?
For me, if he's saying that we believe in the same one true God in the same way, like your God is my God, that would be a problem. If he's saying that we both believe in one entity that created the heavens and the earth, however we differ on who that is, I don't have a problem with that, not necessarily.
Okay. And sorry, you came up to me. You mentioned you want if I had a few questions for you.
Yeah, if you want.
Cool. Maybe I'll go because maybe one more. So doing research into this. I was wondering if you're familiar with Clement of Rome.
I'm not huge on churches. I'm studying that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm studying that. But I got a few brothers if you want. Like they're really heavy into church history. They can tell you all about the church fathers.
Sure, because what I've read, like when I've been doing my research, it's been very interesting that this figure, Clement of Rome, who's meant to be one of your first church fathers, the first church father, I believe. He's often associated throughout history as being the same historical figure as Titus Flavius Clement.
Titus?
Flavius Clement. And this person is a member of the imperial household. So he is often seen, he's often seen as being a nephew of the Roman emperor. So it's just interesting to me how in the early church, your first church father throughout history has been associated.
Clement of Rome is not the first church father.
He's not even the first pope.
Well, who is the first church father?
So if you're talking about specifically of the Roman line of popes, it would go Linus. So it goes from. So Jesus makes Peter the first pope.
Sure.
Then it's Linus. Then it's Anacletus. Then it's Pope.
Sure. Maybe I misspoke. You know, like Ignatius, Irenaeus, and
that's the line from John.
Yeah. But what's the three famous ones called together? Do you know what I'm talking?
You're talking about? You're trying to allude to the early apologists, or which one?
Ignatius and them.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But like Clement of Rome is seen as one of your early church fathers.
One of
not
the early.
So is it problematic for you if one of your early church fathers was a member of the Roman imperial household?
What's like the evidence of this?
So it's just been like throughout history, it's been reported as that being potentially a link. But one thing I can definitely
just
mention. Yeah, but I'm just wondering because you guys haven't given me an explanation of what he was, right? So.
Well, we haven't had an explanation of that. Like we haven't, we're
one
kind of
thing-
going off air right now.
Yeah. So one thing, because for me, something I found really interesting is there's a connection for me between early Christianity, like super early Christianity, in the 1st century AD, and the Roman emperor's household. So, for example, one of your early santas is a woman called Domitilla. Are you familiar with like Santa Domitilla?
No.
So she's seen as one of your early santas. Is anyone here familiar with Domitilla?
The Ninja Turtle.
That's Donatello.
Donatello.
You thinking
So-
of the Ninja Turtles?
So where does this lead you in like? as
So
your research?
Domitilla by the Catholic and Orthodox tradition is recognized as being the niece of the Emperor of Vespasian.
Okay.
Okay. So she is a saint. Yes, Domi. Yeah, Domitilla. Okay, but maybe you'll come up. But in the Catholic tradition and in the Orthodox tradition, she's recognized as being the niece of the Emperor.
Okay.
No.
So that's in your own tradition.
That's wrong.
She.
What is the importance of this?
So the importance of this is why is one of your earliest Santas associated with the imperial household? Like for me,
But what is
I
that?
thought-
What would that have to do with like the truth of Christianity?
so the truth of Christianity, it's just like there's a few things that are concerning when I look into this. So for example, on her catacombs, so like where she's buried and like the place of burial, there is a pagan symbol on her catacombs, which is also recognized as being the symbol for the early Christians.
But what does this have to do with the truth of Christianity?
The
Yeah,
truth
like
of
let's say I was
Christianity.
to grant that.
Yeah.
How does that refute Christianity as a truth?
I'm attacking the historical. What I'm trying to show you is I don't believe that the historical tradition that Christianity teaches about what happened in first century Palestine is accurate.
Okay, so what's inaccurate about Jesus dying by crucifixion under Pontius Pilate and rising again on the third day?
So what I'm trying to say is, in the first century Palestine, there was one thing that's been massively ignored here is the Jewish revolt that was happening around about the same time the Gospels are being written. Are you familiar with the Jewish revolt?
Yeah,
So there was like a massive uprising of Jewish people in first century Palestine.
Yeah.
Sorry, the time's going by, but yeah. So a massive uprising of Jewish people in first century Palestine.
Want some water?
Yeah, that's okay.
That's sweet.
In Eid, like tradition to fast.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Your mic on.
No. Do we need to?
Yeah, I thought this was one big one.
I got. Yeah, you could get it like a water.
No, I'm going with no.
That's holy water. Holy water.
No, I should have. I thought I had a water bottle.
Allow me. I'll try and
Zamzam. Best.
I could have sworn I had a water in there. My bad, bro. It's all right. Six debate with 8.
I want to get in on some of that.
It's fine, but yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, in the first century, the Jewish revolt, I feel like it's been massively neglected about the impact that had throughout history.
There
we go.
Tiny movement I'm making.
When you're going through this much history, that's what it does to you.
So.
But yeah, so I want to know how this hinges on the truth of Christianity, the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
So in the first century, in Palestine,
Yeah.
there was a massive Jewish uprising against. There was multiple Jewish uprisings. There was multiple Messiah claimants that were trying to liberate them from the Roman occupation.
That's right.
So first century Palestine was under Roman occupation.
Yeah.
Under Roman subjugation, there was a lot of horrific atrocities that was being committed against the Jewish people.
Yeah.
The Romans, when they looked towards the Jewish people, just let me know if this is your understanding. The Romans, when they looked towards the Jewish people, they saw them as backwards in their understanding.
Yep.
They saw them as extremists.
Yep.
Let's say.
Yep. And that's then,
And there was multiple efforts by the Romans to try and integrate the Jewish people into their empire in a pacified way. They saw their religion as very aggressive, very extremist, and they wanted the Jewish people to become incorporated into their world religion, which was Roman paganism.
But how does that again? How do we get to when it comes to Jesus claiming to be who he was, dying under Pontius Pilate by crucifixion, and the claims by his believers that they saw him risen again?
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, I have to give the whole narrative, if that's okay. It's going to be a while, but then
We gotta get the whole narrative?
because it's a completely different perspective I'm trying to show you. So,
Do you believe Jesus was crucified?
no.
Do you believe that there was a crucifixion event? What do you think happened? What do you think happened?
Yes, but I'm saying in the first century Palestine, there's multiple crucifixions of multiple Messiah claimants. Is that correct or not? It wasn't just Jesus who was crucified on his own. There's multiple claimants of being the Messiah title
that were
who
crucified. Like who?
For example, the Egyptian, the Samaritan.
The Egyptian and the Samaritan?
Simon the Zealot.
Simon the Zealot was crucified for claiming to be the Messiah?
No, sorry, not Simon the Zealot. There was there was multiple claimants of the Messianic.
Don't sound right. Don't sound right.
No, there was.
I'm listening to you.
Sure, but there's two ones I gave you there: the Egyptian and the Samaritan. They were both claimants of the Messianic title, and they were crucified during the uprising.
What about this Jesus figure? You don't believe Jesus went through a crucifixion at all?
No.
So who do you believe? Okay, so the reports of a Jesus being crucified under Pontius Pilate.
Yeah.
You don't believe that happened. No. So what do you believe did happen? Do you believe somebody was crucified at all, like at that time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
so
like quite similar to Ibn Kathir's. I don't know if
so you believe in the substitution?
I believe that Jesus Islam was like raised,
okay,
and someone was crucified in that position.
Okay, so all right. So just to be clear, you believe that.
But can we get to?
They tried to crucify Jesus, but Allah saved him. Somebody else was substituted. So you believe he was raised up. He's with Allah now, and okay, got you. So you do believe that there was an event surrounding Jesus.
You know, I'm saying you're trying to make it look like this was a one-off event. There was multiple crucifixions going on by the Romans.
No, but
during that period, even Pontius Pilate.
No, what I'm saying is that there's a one-off event of Jesus of Nazareth being crucified, right? So I'm not talking about everybody else. I'm talking about specifically Jesus of Nazareth, him being crucified. And do you believe that there was a situation going on where somebody named Jesus of Nazareth was going to be crucified?
I believe there was persecution by the authorities on the prophet, right? But I believe he was saved from crucifixion by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
But you do believe they tried to, they wanted to crucify him.
That was like the intention was in the long term was to get him, right?
Yes. Okay, get you. All right. So we do believe we can. The reason why I'm asking this because I'm trying to see where I am. And trying to get where let's get to the crux of it.
Sure.
So if there was an event that was taking place regarding Jesus of Nazareth, right? That there was going to be a crucifixion. Now, of course, from our narrative, Jesus was crucified. With your narrative, he was actually substituted and saved. Okay? Who do you believe was crucified in this place? That's his position.
Sorry, repeat.
You believe that he was substituted, Allah saved him and substituted him with somebody else.
I'm saying like that is a position held in Islam.
Is that your position?
My position, I'm trying to get to the actual issue, right? So the actual issue is the actual issue is that the Romans were suppressing the Jewish people and they're trying to make a pacified version of their religion to incorporate them into their empire. And Christianity was that religion.
So you're saying the Romans influenced Christianity. That's what you're saying. Okay, okay, got you.
So that's why I had to build it.
Got you. It takes a while, All right, so the Romans influenced Christianity. Now I see where you're at. So if the Romans, influenced Christianity, how is it that the Romans are so in touch with Jewish prophecy, the words of the prophets, the prophecies of the Messiah? How do you reconcile that much knowledge and familiarity with the Old Testament if this was actually a Roman religion?
So, from my understanding, Romans were already flirting with some type of Judaism. So Philo of Alexandria, for example, he was quite prominent in the Roman Republic or the Roman Empire at that time. Okay. So Jewish thought was quite a heavy influence on the Romans in first century of the Roman Empire.
But that still doesn't explain.
Also, for example, let me show you from the top, right? So Vespasian and Titus were two emperors who were from the Flavian dynasty, right? I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
No, man, you history buff.
Okay,
I'm learning from you.
So, you know Nero, right?
Yeah.
You know Nero, he commissioned the war against the Jewish people, right?
Yes.
In terms of the first Jewish revolt. He sent an army to quench the Jewish people, right? And the people he appointed head of that army were two generals, Vespasian and Titus.
But how does that tie in with their knowledge?
I'm going to get that.
Okay.
Because these things take a while. So Vespasian, he is in charge of leading that Roman army into Palestine and quenching the Jewish revolt. When he's almost done quenching the Jewish revolt, he gets to the Temple Mount. There's the most prominent rabbi at the time, Rabbi Yohanan ben Zakkai. He's standing at the Temple Mount. He tells him, "Oh, Vespasian, you are the mighty king prophesied in Daniel." So he's kind of like sucking up to him in a way, saying like, "You are the one that was destined to conquer." The second he hears that, a messenger comes from Rome telling him that Nero has passed away and that he has a chance of becoming emperor now. So he put that situation where he's been prophesied in Daniel and Nero passing away together to show that that influenced him massively in his life, as in like, this means that I was chosen, I am the Messiah. So this kind of influenced his thinking and going in the future, that he started to think he's the Messiah in some way, shape or form. So he was a lot more, Nero was very persecuting towards Jewish and Christian.
Yeah, but I'm not seeing the
So
connect.
I'm saying from Vespasian's era to Titus's era, they were a lot more accepting of Jewish thought in the empire. You can't name me a single definitive Christian martyr from either the era of Vespasian and Titus. If you guys can, I'm happy to be proven wrong.
What does that have to do with what I asked?
So I'm saying that Vespasian and Titus were festering this like new kind of Jewish influence thinking in the
But it
Roman
wasn't
Empire.
new. Even you said that there were messianic people who tried to claim to be messiahs, and they ended up being killed off.
Yeah, but that
So
was
this
under
wasn't
Nero.
new.
And what I'm saying is, back then they used to see the Jews as a specific type
Okay,
of Jewish
I
thought.
want you to know that I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, but my problem is I do not that the Romans made this Jesus up and
I'm not saying
attached
they made
him.
him up.
But okay, you're saying that the Romans had a huge influence on this dying crucified Messiah, Jesus of Nazareth, who's the Son of God, rose again on the third day. You're saying that the Romans basically did that.
They shaped that model of Isa alayhi salam. They made that version of him. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so they made the
And if you look into the historical record,
I got you.
a more accurate version of him is someone who is helping
So you don't.
liberate.
So
Jewish
let me ask you
people
this.
from the Roman.
I got you. Do you believe that in the Old Testament, in the prophecies, that it had this view of a dying, suffering Messiah?
No.
Okay. Have you read Isaiah 53? So what are your thoughts on Isaiah 53?
Well, I don't believe the Christian account.
Oh, well, let's just go through it. It's only 12 verses. I'll only read a few.
Okay.
Okay.
But if you're going to read it, I don't take that as authority.
That's fine. No, I'm not asking what you see as authority. I'm asking, according to Old Testament prophecies, do you believe it portrays a dying, suffering Messiah? You said no. So that's why this is relevant. Okay. So like maybe it'll change. Maybe it'll flip your view a bit. Like, oh, okay, they did actually have this even before Jesus, before a John, before a Matthew. This was already told and described 700 years before the first century. Okay, so let's go to Isaiah 53.
How do you know that is about Jesus?
Well, we'll see. I'm gonna read a few verses and you tell me who it sounds like.
You can read that one time. You read Psalm as well.
So I'll let you read it. I'll let you give your narrative, and then we'll go back
Well, this is what it's about.
It's about, I'm talking about the narrative.
Barking like a dog. Jesus called the dog. I don't have no problem. I don't have no
So
problem.
I won't read the whole thing. I only read a couple, just the top. All right. So peace. Yeah, God bless you, brother. So it says, look. It says he is despised and rejected by men.
Yeah.
A man of sorrows, acquainted with grief, and we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him. Surely he has borne our griefs. He has carried our sorrows. Yet we esteemed him stricken, smitten by God, and afflicted. So they thought he was being punished by God, right? But they despised him. But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities, for our sins. Upon him was the punishment that brought us peace. And by his stripes, by his wounds, we're healed. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way. And the Lord has laid on him the sins of us all.
Sure. Yeah.
So do you Does this portray?
So, I mean, there is other alternatives to what you're saying, which is in that is, if you read it in the full context, it's talking about Israel as a nation.
It's not.
And also, later on, if you read, if you carry on reading, it says he will see his seed. And it's talking about the literal seed.
Okay,
as
so
in literal offspring.
Good point. So let's break this down. Number one, the first thing you said, this could be about Israel, the nation. Let me show you how it can't. Okay, so like for example, if we go to verse number 8. So you understand the speaker's Isaiah, right?
Yeah.
And so
I mean, I have issues with Isaiah
no
writing
worries.
the entirety.
No worries. It's okay. But this is said to be Isaiah, right? It's soon to be Isaiah. He's an Israelite, right? Okay. So who are the people of Isaiah? Who's his people? The Jews, exactly. Okay, look. So it says here, and they made his grave with the wicked. I'm sorry, hold on, let me go up. But he was taken from prison. He was taken from prison and from judgment. And who will declare his generation? For he was cut off from the land of the living. So he dies, right? What does cut off from the land of the living mean?
Sure.
Okay. So he's cut off from the land of the living. He dies. Not for himself. It says, for the transgressions of my people. So Isaiah says that he dies.
Yeah, but you could also, just from what you're saying, I can also see that as in being the nation of Israel, where it says he was cut off from the land of the living. So that being the region of Palestine.
No, there's
right?
not. No, there's no interpretation.
He was cut off from the.
No, doesn't.
I'm saying like. Sure,
but you can, if we're taking the text, we can do that with anything. If we take the text, he's cut off from the land of the living. He dies. He's not in the land of the living. He's in the land of the dead now. And then now we have here where it says that he's stricken for the transgression of my people, which are the Jews, right? So it can't be the Jews that's being stricken for the transgressions of the Jews.
I knew Isaiah 53. I don't take it as authoritative.
Oh yeah, but do you see the picture?
I can see your position.
Not my position.
I'm not saying it's like.
No, I'm not even giving my position, even though you know it.
Yeah.
Just based off the text, does it portray a savior who dies for the sins of the people?
No. No, that is one position you can take.
Okay.
But then, are you going to laugh at the Jewish position?
Well, no, I'm not laughing at you. Oh yeah, I will laugh at the Jewish position. If any Jew says this ain't about the Messiah, I will laugh in your face because that's silly. Okay. So look, you said it doesn't portray that.
We're diverting from the actual.
We're not, because this is it.
Okay, so this is your. I understand.
Okay, look, this is history. You said that according to history.
About history of first century Palestine.
Yeah, this is what you look. Let me show you why this is relevant again.
Sure.
You said that according to the Christian story, this Christian narrative was influenced by the Romans. Okay, so it's not an authentic story. This dying savior of the Son of God. This is something that the Romans not totally made up, but they highly influenced. Which is why I asked you, okay, do you believe that in the Old Testament, before there was any Romans, before there was any of
the
this?
issue is maybe we're talking past each other, because I'm talking about other parts of. I'm not talking about the dying savior as in being influenced by the Romans. I'm talking about another part of.
Okay, so this is why I asked, brother. Okay, if that's not it, this is why I asked. So, what is your issue? When you talk about that, what is your issue?
We can't just ignore the complete context. So the context of first century Rome now was the figure. Are you familiar with the god Apollo?
Yes, but what does that have to do with this?
The god Apollo is known as being the son of God. So he's the son of Jupiter, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So he's known as being the son of God.
What does that have to do
Apollo.
with this?
In first century Palestine, under Nero's reign, Nero heavily leaned on the sun god Apollo.
So what?
Right. So what he did was he commissioned a massive statue of the sun god Apollo.
So what?
He was very into the arts, and Apollo is the god of the arts.
Hey.
So why I'm saying, why do you have to rush?
I'm not. Dude, you're not.
You're going to be 10 minutes. I've
Yeah,
got
no, but
30
I'm
minutes.
happy to get more time. I'm happy to
No,
get more time.
but I was.
It's okay, folks.
You
It's
said
okay.
you'd be 10 minutes.
Let me just answer this one thing that you said about Isaiah. You said it'll see his seed as literal seed.
Yeah.
You get it from the Hebrew word zerah, right? Okay. So in the book of Isaiah, if we go to chapter 57, verse 4, it literally says that, talking about people who are deceitful and are
10 more minutes.
Thanks for your patience. So 10 more minutes. What?
Can you read Psalm 24:19?
No.
Are you scared?
So
Are you
you
scared?
have Isaiah.
Are you scared? Are you scared? Are you scared?
Okay.
I'm talking.
You know your position. I know, but I want you to bring me.
Jesus got that dog. I'm not telling him nothing. You can say to your mom.
Just film.
You can say to your mom. Behave. Behave.
Okay.
I want to show you.
Why is scared to read
Because this is important. So everybody, listen. This is good. No, on this. No. This is like
bring it down. Man, why not?
We need you to bring it down.
Stace, don't worry about it. That's what they do. Ignore them. Let them disrupt. Because what they can't do is they can't answer. They can't let them do it. He's not with Ted. He's not with
You're hypocrite. When they were interrupting, you said yes.
You're engaging. Yeah, but you literally complained about it. Come on,
don't worry.
guys.
Don't worry.
Can you read Psalm 19?
So guys, the common objection to Isaiah 53, it says that the Messiah will see seed. And so this common objection is Jesus didn't have any children, right?
Literal children.
Right, didn't have literal children. The word is zera, which always means literal seed, literal offspring, okay? So this was an objection to Isaiah 53 being about Jesus. However, when we go to Isaiah 57, I just need to answer this and then we can get back to this, all right? In Isaiah 57 verse 4, this is what it says, okay? Same book. It says this: who do you ridicule? Against whom do you make wide your mouth and stick out your tongue? Are you not children of transgression, seed of deceit? Same word, zera. Now, I know, we all know that deceit does not have literal children, right? So that's figurative. It's the same word used for the Messiah when it says he will see seed, because it's meaning he will see those who followed his footsteps, those who followed him, like his apostles, the believers. Just like these who are seed of deceit are those who follow deception, practice deception. So yeah, I'm just explaining it, man. So just like that, this common objection that this seed has to be literal is, it's false. Okay, so I hope you guys know that.
Okay, like back to the point now. So prominent figure in the Roman Empire. Nero, like he's wearing the arts, made him the main god. Vespasian and Titus, when they took on the emperor lineage after him, they also leaned very heavily into the sun god Apollo, and they commissioned coinage. They commissioned many signs with Apollo's sacred animal, which is the dolphin, and Apollo's anchor. Okay. The early church, one of their main symbols was the same symbol as the god Apollo.
What does this have
They're also preaching. They're also preaching a son of God in some way, shape, or form.
I want to listen to everything you're saying. However, what you're saying is not on the point. You're going to say, the original point. You're talking about history of Christianity and the truthness of its narrative. So I'm showing you that you don't need the New Testament in order to get a dying, suffering Messiah that's going to die for your sins. So if you read, it's like, okay, that last verse I'll show you, and I just want to ask you this, okay?
About this dying, suffering Messiah concept coming from Roman pagans. I'm not arguing that.
So was this a Jewish idea?
I'm saying I don't have a position.
I'm asking you right now.
Sure.
What do you know? It's not. It could have been. Is it?
But I'm saying we have Jews today that don't take that position.
We got
so
Jews.
You're trying to make it sound like it's a unanimous position.
I don't care. Well, I don't care what some Jews today say. We got Jews today that take this as a position. So if Jews take this as a position, some Jews don't. Who cares? Let's be objective. It says here, therefore I will divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong, because he poured out his soul to death.
Okay.
And he's numbered with the transgressors. He bore the sin of many.
Yeah.
In his death.
I don't even. How can you prove to me this is written by Isaiah?
Well, I'm not. Look, that's a different discussion, which I would love to have. However, my question is this. Please. My question is this. Does the scripture before the New Testament portray a dying Savior who dies for your sins? Do we have that in the Old Testament?
I identify much more with the position that is talking about Israel when you put it in its full context, when you read the Isaiah 52, when you read Isaiah 54.
How is this? I already showed you how it's not about